What's going on?
No, Maddie doesn't really even tell him that she's pregnant. He'll find out. There's no really reason to. They haven't spoken for a long time.
Wow, how long has it been since they've spoken?
Sister wives shocker. Kody Brown's own daughter, Madison Brush, says she hasn't spoken to him in years. No calls, no visits, not even for his grandkids. Tonight we're breaking down the brutal truth behind Madison going in no contact with Kody, the lies she exposed, and how this bombshell could change sister wives forever. Don't skip this. If you watch TLC's Sister Wives, you already know the Brown family is falling apart on screen. But nothing hits harder than when the kids start walking away. Today, we're diving deep into the headline. Sister Wives Madison Brush hasn't spoken to Dad Kody Brown in years. We're going to unpack why Madison went no contact with Kody, what she revealed on her podcast, The Authentic Society, her heartbreaking breakdown during Sister Wives Season 20, how Kody's choices shattered his relationships with multiple kids, whether there's a shot at repairing this father-daughter relationship. Stay with me to the end because the last part of this video is all about you, the fans, and what Madison's story teaches about boundaries, healing, and walking away from toxic family dynamics. All right, let's rewind. Madison Maddie Brown Brushes, daughter of Janelle Brown and Kody Brown, one of 18 Brown children, and one of the few who really grew up in front of TLC cameras. She married Caleb Brush in 2016 and moved away from the main family hub, building a quieter life. For kids, a house in North Carolina, and an ever-growing homesteading business called Tata Farms with her mom Janelle. On paper, she escaped the chaos of Flagstaff and Las Vegas, but emotionally, she was still carrying all of it. By the time Madison announced her fourth baby, fans already knew she was estranged from Kody, even as her family life was expanding. And when a daughter, who has defended her dad for years, finally says, "He doesn't deserve a place in my life anymore," you know something went very, very wrong. So, how did we get to hasn't spoken in years? The turning point came on Madison's podcast, The Authentic Society, in November 2024. She opened up about her relationship with Kody in a way we had never heard before. As Madison said, Kody didn't respect boundaries. He reacted with anger when she disagreed with him. He couldn't handle criticism, even the softest, most honest feedback about the effect his actions had on his children. She mentioned conversations where she tried to be straightforward. He got defensive. The cycle turned to fights instead of fixes. At one point, she realized that you can love someone and still decide they don't get access to your peace anymore. That is when she decided to go no contact with her own father, not as an act of spite, but as one of self-protection and for the sake of her kids. Let that sink in. This is not a teenager in rebellion. This is a married woman, a mom of 4, saying, "I gave him chances. I tried. He didn't change." Let's break down the timeline as the show and interviews reveal it. Before 2020, Maddie and Kody seem relatively close on camera. She leaves home, marries Caleb, starts her family. Around the time of Evie's birth and early years, Janelle later says Kody hasn't visited Maddie's kids since Evie was very young, and the distance between him and Maddie keeps growing. COVID years. The infamous COVID rules drama hits the Brown family. Many older kids feel that Kody picks Robin and her kids over everybody else, and those resentments don't just vanish. Season 19 revelations. It's revealed that Kody didn't even know about some of Maddie's pregnancies right away, and he isn't really involved as a grandfather. November 2024, Madison, on The Authentic Society, says she's gone no contact. She discusses anger, disrespect, and realizing she needed to pull back for her own mental health. Season 20, 2025 Madison is shown on camera and reveals she still isn't speaking to Kody, and this is when we see her completely break down. When articles and episode recaps say, Kody Brown hasn't spoken to his daughter Madison or seen her children in years, they're talking about this whole stretch of silence where calls, visits, real relationship basically stopped existing. During the season 20 premiere of Sister Wives, Madison, who sits next to her husband Caleb, attempts to discuss her dad. At first, she's composed and then you see it crack. She admits, "I might have to step out. You want your dad to show up. You want reconciliation. Tears well up in her eyes. Her voice trembles. This is not a "I don't care about him anymore" vibe. This is, "I do care. I hoped he'd fight for us. And he just didn't." Reports about that premiere describe Madison breaking down in tears, confirming she's no longer speaking with Kody and that the estrangement has lasted for a long time now. Years, not months. That's the gut punch of this whole storyline. Madison wanted her dad. She just didn't want the anger, denial, and boundary crossing that came with him. Let's talk about why Madison cut him off in her own words. From her podcast episodes and coverage of them, Madison says, he didn't respect boundaries. When she set limits or stood her ground, it wasn't met with curiosity or respect. It was met with pushback. He got angry when challenged. She mentions there was a lot of anger when she confronted him about how his choices affected her and the other kids. He couldn't take criticism. Instead of reflecting, he became defensive. Criticism equals attack, instead of opportunity. He seemed more committed to being right than being in relationship. And that's the killer in any family system. She also makes a powerful point. Everyone's experience with Kody is different. Some of her siblings still have a relationship with him. She isn't telling them what to do. She's deciding what's healthy for her. And then she drops the line so many viewers have latched onto. Sometimes, some people don't deserve to be in your life. That's a daughter talking about her own dad. Madison has also spoken with candor about what it was like to be a kid growing up in the Brown house, pre-TLC cameras. She says the family was very poor before Sister Wives, even though Kody made a decent income. With 15 kids at the time and Kody chasing risky business schemes, money was always tight. She contrasts Kody's get-rich-quick mentality with Caleb's steady, careful, save and plan approach. Why does that matter for her estrangement? Because it paints a picture of a dad who chased big ideas, lack of follow-through, and didn't always show up in the steady, reliable ways kids need. Madison also describes feeling like Kody's lies and half-truths taught her hard lessons in setting boundaries and trusting people. She essentially grew up thinking, I love my dad, but I can't always believe my dad. And now I'm a mom. I don't want that for my kids. That's not about one big blow-up. That's about years of small cracks finally breaking the foundation. The Madison-Kody estrangement is not happening in space. Look at the wider Brown family. Christine left Kody officially in 2021. Janelle separated from him in 2022. Meri announced the end of their spiritual marriage in early 2023. That leaves Robin, who is the only wife remaining. Kody himself has admitted things like, he thinks about his failed marriages every day. His relationships with many of his kids have become an experience of criticism and backbiting. But from the kids' side, including Madison, the story sounds more like, we tried to talk. He wouldn't listen. So we stopped trying. Christine has talked about Kody's strained relationships with several of the children. Leon, Michael T., Garrison, Gabe all have had complicated dynamics with their dad. Madison is not alone in feeling distant or hurt. So when you hear, Madison Brush hasn't spoken to Kody Brown in years, it's really part of a bigger headline. The Brown kids are done tolerating what their mom silently endured. Here's the part TLC doesn't always show enough of. Madison's post-Kody life is actually beautiful. She and Caleb are raising 4 children, Axel, Evie, Josephine, and baby Amelia, born March 14th, 2025. She's open online about gentle parenting, faith, and therapy-style healing work. She and Janelle have started Tata Farms, creating something secure and independent of Kody's finances. Madison doesn't come off vindictive in interviews or online posts. She sounds like someone who grew up in chaos, watched her moms accept less than they deserved, and decided, I'm ending this pattern with my generation. She's not just walking away from a relationship. She's walking away from a cycle. Now, the million-dollar question among Sister Wives fans. Is this permanent? Is Madison done forever? On one hand, she says some strong words. She's gone no contact. She believes some people don't deserve access to your life. She clearly doesn't want this energy around her kids. On the other hand, that season 20 breakdown tells a different story. You don't cry like that over someone you don't care about. You cry like that when you wish they'd change. You waited for them to call. You still envision them walking back into your life, and they just don't. Even Madison says she wants reconciliation, but she wants her dad to show up differently, with respect, honesty, and real effort. So is there hope? Realistically, for any reconciliation to take place, Kody would have to acknowledge the hurt, not just say we all made mistakes, but be specific. Stop blaming disrespectful kids and ask himself why so many feel abandoned. Show up consistently. Visits, calls, apologies without cameras rolling. Honor boundaries. No more anger when Madison disagrees or holds him accountable. Will he do that? That's the cliffhanger real life is writing right now. Here is where it gets personal for you and me. Millions of viewers have watched Sister Wives for over a decade. We've seen weddings, babies, road trips, huge fights, tears, and confessions. For marriages implode in real time. But Madison's estrangement makes us ask some deeper questions. When do you stop excusing a parent just because that's just how they are? Can you love someone and still decide they don't get a front row seat in your life? And how do you break patterns your parents never managed to escape? Madison's response is instructive. You set boundaries. You protect your peace. You choose your kids' emotional safety over keeping up appearances. Whether you agree with her or not, that's powerful. Now I want to hear from you. Whoa. Do you think Madison made the right call going no contact with Kody? Yes, she was trying to protect herself and her kids. No, she needs to keep hoping that the relationship will come out. Or, it's complicated, and TLC only shows us part of the story. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Team Madison, team, they both need therapy, or team, Kody needs to apologize on camera. For real. Also, let me know. Would you like a full breakdown of Kody's estrangement with the other kids next? Or go in depth about how Robin fits into all of this drama? Because if you think this Madison storyline is intense, we've barely scratched the surface of the Brown family fallout. If you've made it this far, you're officially part of the Sister Wives Deep Dive crew. Before you go, subscribe if you enjoy long-form breakdowns about reality TV families. Hit the like button so more Sister Wives fans see this, and share this video with that friend who's always texting you. Wait, why don't Kody and Madison talk again? Because now, you know exactly why Sister Wives Madison Brush hasn't spoken to Dad Kody Brown in years, and what it may take to change that. I'm your name. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next deep dive.